welcome to episode 2 of Trope Heavy. Today we're going to talk about the get in the fridge trope, which is honestly one of those tropes that inspired me to make this series. It's one that I find both intriguing and kind of hilarious in an infuriating way. It's funny in an annoying way. So, get in the fridge is also known as fridging or fridge your wife, as this is a trope that female characters often tend to be the victims of. For the rest of this video, I'm just going to refer to it as fridging because it's easier to say. Fridging is a trope that is used to move a character's plot along. But the way it does this is by either traumatizing or killing a character's loved one in order to motivate them. The name of this trope was actually coined by a woman named Gail Simone on her website Women in Fridges, which I will link down below. I used this site an awful lot for research for this video. On her website, Gail Simone has created a list of female comic characters who have been killed off as plot devices. And believe me when I say there are a lot, guys. It is a dangerous line of business to be in, to be a female comic character. Whilst not the first instance of this trope being used, the first time that this trope was recognised as what it is was in Green Lantern A New Dawn, where Kyle Rayne's girlfriend was killed and then literally stuffed into a fridge for him to find. Hence the name fridging. Fridging is one of those tropes that has a negative connotation, very similar to the "it was all a dream" trope, mostly because it is often a mark of lazy writing. This is because using the pain, trauma or death of a established character to further the motivations of another character essentially devalues that character to basically being a prop. A very similar trope to this is the sexy lampshade trope, which I may do a video about in the future because it's another one of those that I find hilariously infuriating. Now, that's not to say that all character deaths that inspire a protagonist or another character are bad or are using this trope. Fridging is specifically when the death or trauma serves no other narrative purpose. And often when the fridging is in the form of trauma, the character whose trauma it is, their response to it or their feelings about it are never really explored. Because that's not the point. The writers are specifically writing this so that you will feel bad for another character who it's not happening to. Some examples of this are Barbara Gordon in The Killing Joke. Barbara Gordon is Commissioner Gordon's daughter, and in The Killing Joke she is kidnapped by the Joker and severely tortured, beaten and disabled, I believe, expressly for the purpose of this torture being shown to Gordon to turn him insane. Angel in Rent. Angel as a character is basically sort of killed off to facilitate the rest of the characters kind of getting their shit together. In a shockingly similar vein, the character of Rayon in the Dallas Buyers Club the narrative parallels between those two are they're basically the same character. Sansa's sexual assault in Game of Thrones was explicitly framed as being something awful for Theon to have to watch, and it was never framed as being we should feel bad for Sansa in this moment, we should feel bad that Theon is having to witness this. Gamora and Black Widow in The Avengers, both killed off in order to further the plot. Not surprisingly, being two of very few very prominent female characters. And in a, nice vein of very few prominent female characters, Rachel in The Dark Knight was killed off in order to inspire the Batman, and she also happened to be the only prominent named female character in that movie. And seriously, there are so many more. Like, if I tried to list them all, we'd never leave. This video would go on forever. So seriously, if you want to know more about this kind of trope and examples of it, go and check out Women in Refrigerators. Some tropes that are similar to this in theme, but not necessarily in the same negative connotation. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But some of those tropes are body in a bread box, collateral angst, the cynicism catalyst, disposable women, the friendly target, I let Gwen Stacy die, the lost Lenore, revenge by proxy, targeted to hurt the hero, and you killed my father. Thank you so much for watching. If there are any tropes that you would specifically like me to do a video on, please leave them down below in the comments. And do you have any more examples of this trope in media? Like I said, there are so many of them and I didn't even barely scratch the surface. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and maybe subscribe if you want to see more videos like this or other things that I have done. And I will see you in the next video.